need to live 100 years to go through all the books we have on our to-be read list.
I don't have time for 1,000 pages. Please, editors,
Or
publishers.
maybe I don't have time for a full-time job. Let me understand your traumas, your history.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
Welcome to our second video.
Welcome to our second video.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Shireen. Today's video, we wanted to share some of our favorite books across different genres. You see this massive pile here, so that you guys can know us a little bit better, know our book taste, and decide if you want to be part of this community, if our book tastes align.
Great, so let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's
We
get
have a lot
started.
of books. Before we start
Mm,
going through the books, I have a question.
yes.
How do you, like for you, how do you decide if a book is 5 stars, magical, change your world? Like, what is the criteria
Mm,
that makes you define a book that way?
I like that question.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are two main things for me.
Okay.
The first one is how much I want to go through the book. How much am I into the book? You know, the plot, the characters, like a real page turner. I
Okay.
think this is number one. Number two is how deep I felt. And this is like all the emotions. This is like how was I like how much did I feel reading this book, you know? We have similar taste, for instance, like
I think we do.
yeah.
Well,
Like
for
in
the
terms
most
of
part,
page
yeah.
turners, like you will also go through the books
Because,
that
yeah,
I think you're just scared of the size of them.
I'm
you
scared
know?
of the size. I'm
Sometimes
scared
you
of
just
commitment.
like you're like, oh no, but
Like you went
1,000 pages, no
straight.
way.
You went straight into Alchemist.
Yes.
I didn't have the courage to
Yeah.
start this book,
Mm,
but you just went
That's
into
true.
it, and then you told me to get
Yeah.
into it, and now I'm into it.
That's true.
But I
Yeah.
applaud your bravery in tackling really big books.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah.
not always easy, but I feel it's always rewarding.
The payoff is worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Because
For me, emotional connection.
yeah.
Because I can't necessarily say like great writing, great plot, great
Yeah.
character development, X, Y, and Z,
Mm.
because a lot of books have this. Like
Yeah.
a ton of books have this that maybe were not 5 stars for me.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, that's a part of it. Of course, it needs
Mm.
to be a great book in some of these aspects, but it's just like an indescribable feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I
Mm.
cannot tell you
That's
why
true,
I
yeah.
love this book so much and I didn't like the other book
Yeah.
as much, and
That's true.
objectively they're very similar.
Yeah.
I don't know, you just relate to something, or something is super profound to you at a certain time in your life.
Yes.
Like some of these books that I loved, maybe if we read them now,
Yeah, it's very different. So this is why I think it's very personal and it really relates to your life, your past, what you've been through, how you can connect and relate to all the stories and people. So yeah, I agree with you.
okay,
So it's gonna be a long video.
grab a tea,
Grab a tea, grab a coffee, sit with us.
grab a drink.
We have some books to go through a little
Plenty.
bit. It was very difficult to choose actually.
We could have added more.
Yeah, and you know, the more we talk about
She
it, the
kept
more
picking. She kept
we
picking.
need to go and yeah, I missed this one, I missed that one. So I feel today is like an introduction.
Yeah.
You will get to know more about us, like with different videos where we bring more of the authors and books that we love. And I think then you'll get a better understanding. But these ones today, let's say they are our fundamentals. So shall we start with general fiction?
General fiction.
General
I think
fiction
this is probably the biggest pile.
It's exactly
or
so.
that or the classics.
Yes.
General fiction.
Okay, so I think my first pick is Murakami.
Yeah.
And I have a thing for Japanese author, right?
When I met you,
Yes, I was obsessed.
you were obsessed with Murakami.
Yes.
So I associate Murakami with you now.
Yes.
Because that's how I got to know you.
True.
And like your book taste. And that's
Yes.
like the first book that you gave me, I think, was Men Without Women by Murakami.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's how I
Yeah.
started reading him
Yes.
for the first time, was
Yes.
from the book that you gave me.
True. Yeah, and I remember I went through a phase. I went through them all, like Kafka on the Shore, Norwegian Wood, and honestly, it's very difficult, I think, for me to pick one. But I really loved Killing Commendatore.
Really?
Murakami.
I have never heard of this.
It's one of the book I read in 2 days maybe, and
Page turner.
there is something that's so unique about Murakami, right? I think when you read the first page, you can always know if it's Murakami who wrote it. So there is something like you don't know if you're in reality, in a
Yeah.
dream. There is this magical surrealism. And I feel this book was really a good, like, I went so deep into this book. Like, it's the story of this painter. His wife leaves him, and he goes into the mountains in a house alone. And then suddenly you find in his attic a painting, an old painting that depicts killing Commendatore. So it's the story of a killing on the painting. And from there on, there are like a lot of weird stories, surrealism stuff that happen, ghosts and myth. And it's so magical that I was like super hooked. And I felt like it has such a unique universe
Yeah.
that,
He has a very
yeah,
distinct voice.
yeah,
Very distinct.
you
Like
can always
it's a
recommend
verb
this book.
now, I feel.
Yeah,
Like that's very
Murakami.
Murakami.
Yeah, Killing Commendatore is
We
very
like
good.
Murakami in this
We
channel.
love,
So
yes.
if you also like Murakami, please subscribe. So I chose a book
Mm,
that I really never thought that I would enjoy this genre. Like
mm,
I just felt it's one of those that's a little bit far from what I liked at that point in my
mm.
reading journey. Because every book that I read in this like mystery thriller genre, I found it to be like such a cheap imitation of one another, very
Yeah.
predictable. I developed the impression that like this is what the genre is and it's maybe just not for me until I walked into the secondhand bookshop.
Mm.
I picked up Gone Girl
Gone.
and I've heard about the movie, but I didn't know anything about the plot. And I've talked about this book to death, I feel, to like everyone
Mm.
because I was just so impressed with how well written, well structured, how amazing the twist was, how amazing like the character development was. Like it just brought me back to being like, okay, no, this genre can be very well done.
Yeah.
I just didn't read the right
Yeah.
books. So I just credit it to opening like a different genre for me that I
Mm.
wasn't really into before.
Yeah.
So Gone
Yeah.
Girl, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I loved it as well. I remember reading it when I used to live in Taiwan. This is one of the book I picked there, and yeah, a page turner. I feel
A page
it's well
turner.
written. The plot is like really good into taking you from one place to
But the
another.
twist was like
The twist is massive.
great.
Yes.
And what I find, I mean, not to go back to the housemaid, but in the last
Let's.
video, I talked about the housemaid, and I
Yeah.
felt like that was a little bit of a underwhelming imitation of this, where the character is not
What you
what you
expect?
expect,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's enough for you just to throw that storyline and then
Yeah.
expect us to believe and
No.
expect it to stick. But she developed these characters so brilliantly
Yeah.
that when that happened, you were genuinely surprised, but you were all it was also like believable. It
Yeah.
wasn't some like cheap trick that you just add into like a thriller
True. Yeah.
mystery to just a shock factor. Like
Yeah.
it was well thought out and it was well
Yeah.
developed. Unfortunately, I haven't loved her other books as much. I just read Dark
No.
Places, and I know you read
Yeah. The short
recently.
story. Yeah.
I think they
Um.
were okay, but
Okay-ish.
this was
I think this one is the best one,
amazing.
and the movie is great as well. To be honest,
The
it's one
movie
of the
I didn't
movie that.
watch, but
Hmm,
it's very
it's
popular.
yeah, it's a nice one also. I think it was well done.
Okay,
Yeah, recommended.
recommend it.
My second book, maybe not so well known actually, that but I really loved is Migration by Charlotte McConaghy.
McConaughey?
McConaghy by Charlotte McConaghy.
Sorry.
Migrations. How to describe migration? So I don't know. This is, going back to the introduction. This is one of the book I don't know if I loved because at that period of time of
Mm.
my life I felt like that person.
Speaking to me.
But speaking, yeah, I felt like so much. But still, maybe I'll read it again because I loved it so much. It's a very different book. I think the author is like deeply engaged into environment and climate change. So she talks about a lot of those
And
themes.
very relevant still.
Yes, and so this is the story of Franny basically, and Franny is described as a wanderer. She's someone who loves, but she's unable to stay, and she goes on that journey, and that journey, so basically this is also kind of dystopian because we are in the future where all the animals are extinct, and she is going on that journey on a vessel where she's looking for a bird, and that bird is in some like is in Antarctica. And so through that journey she's actually reflecting on her own journey. So this becomes a very introspective and self-searching kind of journey. And so you get to like you get to know more about her life through flashbacks and everything, and how did she end up there on this journey. And I found it like so profound and very unique. I don't think I have ever read like something similar that is so relatable but happening in a future that doesn't exist. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I really like when
Yeah.
people use nature,
Yes.
animals,
So
these
this was
different
like
elements
great
to
one.
describe,
Yeah.
yeah,
I recommend Migrations.
migrations.
Yeah.
Okay, the next book.
Mm.
The next book, a bit of a
Very popular.
very popular, and at this point I feel it's like super commercial. However, I still think it's a very important and beautiful story, and it really affected me at the time that I read it,
Mm.
and that is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I think I read this at a time where there was something happening in the news in Afghanistan. It was like the Taliban banning
Yeah.
the women from getting an education. Like I was reading this book at that time, right?
Mm.
And I think for most of us, for a very long time, you just hear these kinds of
Yeah.
stories coming out of that country. And again, I'm from Iran, neighboring country. We speak the same language. Like a lot of stuff is very
Yeah.
similar. Um, and then when I read this, what I really appreciate with this book or books from other countries and cultures that have a negative connotation to it, or is just thought about in these different like horrific political circumstances, is to show like the human side of it, and to show that it's like they are ordinary people and they live ordinary lives, and they're just unfortunate that they've been put in an unfortunate political circumstance
Yeah.
that's not their choice. So sometimes I think we forget that, and we just
Mm.
think like, oh, this is how they are, and that's
Yeah.
what the country is, and that's how those people are. And you lose perspective that they're no different than we are. We're just lucky to not be in the same
Yes.
circumstance that they are. So I
True.
really appreciate these books that
Mm.
put that perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most important things about reading books, like the
True.
empathy and understanding different experiences that we will
Yeah.
never get to experience ourselves. But I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
And this was the first book that I read that really gave me that feeling.
I think this is why fiction is so important for empathy, actually.
Exactly.
This is the basis. So
Exactly.
it's one of the book I haven't read yet. And you were saying about the commercial part,
Yeah.
and it's always one of the book I keep on seeing everywhere, and I'm like, I should read it. But every time I get so turned off when I see it everywhere,
Yeah, I
it's like, should
understand.
I
I understand.
read? Should I get into it?
I know.
But I think I mean, this one
But
is
again, it's
well
the
known into
first that
the,
I read at that,
yes,
so it might have just impacted me a lot more because I found it to be like such a profound story
yeah,
into like normal people in a country that you just think of like chaos, and you just think of like
yeah,
the most horrible things that you hear on the news.
yeah,
But then when you read, and you're like, but they're no
yeah,
different than me
true,
and you, and you just really
true,
empathize.
yeah,
And they are normal people, like
yeah,
in all the countries. There's normal people living
yeah.
there. It's just that they're in a different situation. Like it's just a matter of like luck sometimes.
It's the luck of where you're born.
Exactly. Like they have
We are
control over
not,
nothing. They're
yes,
just, yeah.
we are not also
Kite
lucky.
runner.
Yeah, Kite Runner. Maybe I should give it a chance at some point of time. I think I
I
will.
really like
I
it.
will. I will. Too many good books out there. Life is tough.
We need to live a very long
we
life.
need, we need to live 100 years to go through all the books we have on our to be read list.
Is it sad that that's what we want to live long for, to read all the books?
I mean, if life keeps throwing at me 800, 1,000 pages book, I mean, I need
Please,
to live
enough.
120 years.
We don't have time for 1,000 pages. Please, editors,
Or maybe I don't
publishers.
have time for a full-time job.
Oh,
Maybe. We don't know. I am going into a book that you need to
I've
read.
heard about this so much.
You
Tell me.
need to
Tell me.
read
Tell
this
me.
book. Okay. Elena Ferrante, The Days of Abandonment. And this book, oh my God,
The mystery author.
how
I'm so
much
fascinated by her
I
story.
felt. Yes. So I think everyone knows about Elena Ferrante, my brilliant friend. 4 books. I hope you did read it because it's a beautiful story. But this book is not so well known, and it's something that transcend me in a way. I don't know how to explain. And yes, you were mentioning that you didn't know about Elena Ferrante,
Mm.
that no one knows who she is until today, or he, or I don't know. So she's an Italian writer, or he, we don't know. And
Maybe, maybe not.
maybe not. But I love the way she writes. Like she has something so vivid. She makes you feel like I rarely felt in other books. The
Okay.
way of
It's a
writing is,
powerful
yeah,
sell.
yeah, very. So this is the story of a woman. She's 38 years old. Her name is Olga. And from one day to another, the husband left her, and she has two kids to raise. He just left. And this is her story. This is the descent into like grief, anger, madness, to end with rebirth,
I
of
think there's a
course.
theme. We like people going into madness.
Yes, I
We've
can
talked
feel like the
about a few
strong
books.
strong female voices in all of these books, right? Like something, the female rage, the
Female
motherhood.
race.
It's all there, and it's so like I don't even know how I can describe it more than that, but the story is so powerful and so vivid that I felt like maybe I stopped breathing for the length of that book. You know, I was underwater with
And it's a
her.
very short one.
It's short,
I
but
think it's
it's
very
so
powerful
intense.
that someone
Yeah,
can
write something
make you
like
feel that
less than
much,
200
yeah,
pages,
in a short
and
book.
it's like strong. Recommended.
Amazing.
It is one of my favorites. Yes.
So,
Okay.
the final book that I have in this category, I mean, there's a billion and five books, but the final book for
Mhm.
this video is similar to Gone Girl. Like, this is a world that I never thought that I would like. Just that I was like reading a lot of similar books within
Yeah.
the similar genre. I was sticking to that
Mm.
and thinking like other books are not really for me. And then these books surprised me. So this is Stephen King. This specifically is Misery, which has a very interesting plot, in my
Mm.
opinion. So there is an author of a famous series of famous books, and he wants to stop writing about this character in this series, but he has a super fan. He has a crazy super fan that kidnaps him
Mm.
and forces him to write another book with these characters. And it is, I never thought like you can get scared reading a book, but it's really that. Like
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah,
reading it
scared
like
even to
this,
hold it.
even scared to hold it. Like I was very impressed by how you can make me
Scared to turn the
feel.
page.
Yeah, but to make me feel like,
Yeah.
you know, when you watch a scary movie
Yeah.
and the adrenaline, your heart
Yeah.
is beating and it's too
Yeah.
quiet and then there's a
Yeah.
noise and you're jumping. Like it made me
Yeah.
feel like that in a book.
Yeah.
I don't watch horror movies. Um, I don't really
I
like
don't.
that genre, but I like reading it a lot more than
Yeah.
I like watching it. And I
Mm.
really think Stephen King is gonna become one of my favorite
Mm.
authors. I just really like the places that he goes, and like his plot is very
Yeah.
interesting. It's not like the same
Yeah.
repetitive
Hmm.
plot. So yeah,
That's good.
Misery, Stephen King. There's also a movie,
Nice.
but I didn't
Yeah.
watch the movie.
I
I'm
didn't
too
watch.
scared to watch the movie.
Ah, now I'm scared as well. Okay, my last one in fiction. I have another genre that I love. Dystopia. The Power by Naomi Alderman is a futuristic world where suddenly women have power and they overtake a world dominated by men.
Mm-hmm.
So they become men in that aspect. So women become presidents, they become rulers, they become the oppressor. And this alternative world answer the question, do you think that, not answer the question, but wants to aim at answering the question, like, would the world be better if it were ruled by women? Power is power.
I feel it
Whether
would be
it
the
is
same.
women, men, I think power affects people the same,
I mean,
basically.
if men in power and women in power at the end result to the same conclusion, maybe the power and that whole dynamic is the problem, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone is who has power becomes consumed by it, right? Like
So
the
maybe we
moment you
shouldn't let
think you
anyone have that
have
much
the upper hand on someone else or another like um,
power.
person,
Yeah.
this is where things start to go bad. And this is exactly what she wants to show in this book, is that nothing is perfect, and whoever will be responsible with the power can never really, like, achieve good, because they will always end up somehow having their own interest at mind more than other people. So
Yeah.
power is power, and I think unfortunately it's never in good hands. But this book is very interesting because it's a bit sci-fi, it's dystopian, it's
It's very
futuristic,
real, also very relevant.
and yeah, it feels very real because
Very
you're like,
relevant.
okay, that could happen. But if you enjoy the Handmaid's Tale, if you enjoy like dystopia, that kind of vibe, this is something that you will definitely enjoy.
I think that concludes our
General fiction,
general fiction, modern fiction
modern
category.
fiction, yes. And I mean, this are only a
A
few,
glimpse,
a
a
glimpse
very
of
small
books.
glimpse into our
But I
world.
think we managed to get into different genre
Yeah,
between
exactly.
like the fiction,
I think the
thrillers,
yeah.
dystopia, Japanese
It's fiction.
fiction. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, books
Yeah.
that got us back into reading. At least for me, because I was reading a
Books.
lot when I was a
Yes.
kid, and then I had a moment where I abandoned books,
Yeah.
and then I discovered some of these books, remembered why I
Yeah.
used to love reading. So
Yeah.
those are those books.
I feel like I never really stopped reading. It was always part of
Mm,
my life, but maybe at a lesser
yeah.
volume, obviously, not at 50 books a year, 50 plus books a year. Especially when I started to work and I went to
Yeah.
university, I was reading, but a bit less than
Mine was around high
growing up.
school, university
Yeah,
when I kind of a bit.
yeah.
Also, maybe recommendations for people that want to get into reading. These are a good place to
Yes,
start.
yes. Very good place to start. And I think the number one that we recommend for our friends who always ask us, well, how do you read so much? What book should I go into? Which one do you recommend for me? Like, this is the hardest question because, like, if you ask me, I can recommend 1,000 books.
Who are you? What do
like,
you like? Let me dissect
let me
you.
understand who you are deep. Like, let me understand your traumas, your history. Like, then I'll advise you like the best book for you. So, without going into that much detail with someone you don't know, one easy book to recommend is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And I think, I don't know why is everyone loved this book, but I think it's
I think it's
probably because,
polarized because I also have heard a lot of people criticize that it's like a bit too cliche.
yeah, it is a bit
It is
cliche,
a bit cliche, but at the
but
time, it just felt.
if you want to go back to reading and like get into a
Yeah,
nice story,
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
yeah, I get the point. But yeah, this is the story of Santiago. He's a shepherd boy and he wants to travel. So he goes, I mean, he's looking for
He's
something,
looking for an
but he
alchemist,
doesn't
no?
know. Yes, he's looking for an alchemist. He's looking for the meaning of life.
Meaning of life.
And he goes on a journey. And that journey is a special one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's again, I don't think the plot is as important as like the wisdom and the commentary and this whole thing
Yeah.
about finding yourself and the universe. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot more of giving you that kind of advice, let's say, more than
Yeah,
it
I
is like
mean, everyone says it's always about the journey more than
yeah.
the destination, right? So this book is about that.
It's exactly
Yeah,
about that. I really wonder. I mean, I read this. Oh my God, I was in the US. I don't remember.
yeah,
2017, 16,
ah,
15. I don't know. Like, I wonder if I read this again, because I haven't read since,
yeah.
what I'm gonna feel
Think
about
about
it.
it.
Like,
Yeah,
because not, that time I didn't have, like, the books that I read prior to this was Twilight, the Summer I Turned Pretty series, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I was in
mm,
middle school, right?
yeah.
So those were the books I was reading.
True.
So this was so
Yeah,
profound when I read it at that time.
yeah,
But now with a lot of other books in
yeah.
our backlog, like
Have we
how
have we changed?
have we changed? Maybe we can do
Maybe we
a
could try. I mean,
explore.
I remember this was a very quick read, like maybe 2 hours. I think the I remember one time reading it in China in the train in the Springs Festival, and then we was like stuck for 18 hours on that train when I was reading this book. 2011.
Wow.
I'm very young. But yeah, a lot of memories, and this is a nice book to get back into reading.
But you see, that's the stuff that I think makes it really special. Like you have a
Yeah,
memory of it sitting in
yeah,
this train in China.
yeah,
Like these little moments add
yes,
to our fondness of certain
yeah.
books. Like it just
This is
makes
what
it
is
more
beautiful
special.
about books. I remember of moments in my life associated to books. I remember everything like a milestone, something important that happens to
It's
me.
special.
I remember the book I was reading was that, which is weird.
Mm.
Yeah.
But those books then always feel
Yes.
a bit extra
A bit
special.
a bit like home. Yes.
Now,
Now.
okay, sorry. I
Mm.
have
Oh,
my
yes.
destroyed copy in Farsi, because I read this actually in Farsi, but this is The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak.
Yes.
And I don't think that title does it justice at all.
No.
It makes it sound like it's some sort of romance, and in some ways it might be, but it's not at all the romance that you are thinking in terms of like all these popular
Mm.
books nowadays. This is the story of it's a story within a story. So there is a woman that's writing a book about the story of Rumi and Shams. So
Yeah.
they were um 13th century, 16th century,
Mm.
13th century
Yeah, I can't remember.
Persian poets, very old poets. Um and again, with this, I find it's another book where it's not so much about the story and the plot, this happens and this happens and that. It's more of like the beautiful wisdom, the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful language.
Yeah.
So the 40 rules of love is throughout the book, Rumi gives you like 40 rules of like life, I would say, more than love. It's
Yeah.
not all about love. I have a
Love.
little thing with this because
Yeah.
I never learned how to read Farsi in
Mm.
like a school setting. Like I taught myself, and then this was the first book
Mm.
that I was able to read, like a full novel in
Yeah.
Farsi, and it was such a proud moment for me, because before that I was just reading like really
Mm.
bits and pieces and things, and I didn't know that I can read a full
Yeah.
book. And I bought this and I paid $50 for shipping. $50 for shipping.
That's how much we love
That's
books.
how much I love this book. But
Yeah.
40 Rules of Love,
It's a beautiful book.
it's a beautiful story. I
Beautiful.
haven't heard of a lot of people that don't like it.
That's true because it's a very easy read as well,
It's a
right?
very easy read.
It's something that anyone can relate to, love.
Yeah.
So
But when we say easy read, I don't want to take away from like the
no, it's
depth of it
there,
or like the
but
beauty of it. But
it's
I know
written
what
in
you
a
mean.
way that is
Yeah.
accessible. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
40 Rules of Love.
recommended.
But please, different title.
Yeah.
Elif is my most read author.
Oh, really? Is
I think
she?
so. She's my
Ah,
most read author.
I read also a lot from her. I
A
remember The
lot.
Bastard of Istanbul. Oh, 11 minutes and
11 minutes,
38
40
seconds.
rules, how
Loved
to
it.
stay sane in an age of
Yes.
division, the island of missing
The Island of
trees.
Missing Trees.
Did you
Oh,
read?
I
I'm seeing here.
love that
Did you read
one.
her newest book?
No,
Because you
not the
have it
one
on your
The
shelf.
Rivers. Yeah, no, I didn't.
I read also
I
like
want to read it.
Honor. I read
Yeah.
a lot of her
That's true. We
books.
read a lot of them. Mm.
So I would credit her as an
Yeah.
author that got me
Yeah.
into reading.
It always like something that that you know you're gonna enjoy
Yeah, she's
somehow.
great,
She's very
honestly.
good at translating emotions
Thank you, Elif.
and people.
Okay, go.
Okay, the next one we have in that category. Okay, we have An American Marriage by
I feel this was
Tayari
our
Jones. I think this is our book.
our friendship book.
Yes, it all started with that. I really enjoyed that book actually, and it's something that I think is a good book to start with. Like
Yeah.
if you're not like so much a reader, it's the story of Celestial and Roy. And Celestial is waiting for Roy to come out of prison, and he's there for a crime that he didn't commit, and she's waiting for him. This is the story of their life apart and how are they going to, yeah, to find each other at the end of this very difficult journey.
It's
Um,
very real. It
it's
felt
very
very real
real
life.
and it's very deep, and I really like the communications between them. You know, the letters they used to send each
I
other in
letters.
prison.
I really like books
Yes,
written in letters. I realized
right?
this.
Yes.
I really like that
Yeah.
format.
I still remember that quote that I loved, that in life you get
I know
dealt
what you're saying.
with
The
five
cards.
different cards, and there are only two that you cannot choose: your family and where you come from.
We'll put the full
And
quote
this
here.
was my favorite quote, I remember. Yes, because I found it so true. So
Yeah.
a
American Marriage.
very nice book. Recommended.
The next book is A Blind Owl by Sadegh Hedayat. This is a book that I absolutely love, 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 love. The story is as simple as you are just witnessing a man go crazy. Like you're just witnessing his brain, very random
Mm,
thoughts, and
losing it.
you are lost
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Like you
He's going
are
into madness.
he's going into and he's
Yes.
taking you with him.
Yes. And you're going mad with him.
You're going mad with him. And it's a tiny book, and I
Yeah.
really think authors that can write incredible powerful stories in such little words um have a great talent, because I think it's very
Yeah.
difficult to do that. And
But I read it and it reminded me a lot of Kafka somehow. I don't know if his way of writing, the way it's, because
Yeah.
Kafka has this thing that it drives you mad. It's maddening. Like all of the, I will talk about this later, but like they drive you mad. Like maybe I am mad, and this book made me feel the
I'm
same.
curious if he was inspired. I don't know
Yeah,
at all
it made me feel the
which
same.
timeline,
Mm.
to be honest, they lived in. Like, I don't know if they,
Yeah.
if one would be inspired by the, probably he would be
Mm.
inspired by Kafka.
Okay, what do we have left?
That concludes.
Okay.
That concludes
The
this
book
section.
two gets you back into reading.
Reading.
Do we go into the heavy stuff?
The best stuff.
The best stuff. The
Classics.
classics.
I would say it's my favorite genre.
Yeah, me too. I think we always love like to talk about the classics.
I think
Right?
it's the books that you can talk the most
Yes.
about. It's,
And the books that are still so relevant today.
that's
Like
why they're
most of them are
classics.
like classics so old and you just like, I
How is
cannot
this
believe that
relating
after
to
all
me?
these years, how can I still relate to them? How?
Okay, I'm gonna start with my
Okay.
favorite classic.
Yes.
This is a very beautiful edition that a few of our friends, including Sarah, got me for my birthday, which
How
I
pretty.
love. I adore this edition. This is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is one of my favorite books ever and one of my favorite classics. Um, and it was one of my mom's favorite books. So I think that's also probably why I love it so much. But
Yeah.
I it's a story of, we have an unnamed narrator. She gets married to a wealthy widow, Mr. De Winter,
Mm.
who has like a huge estate called Manderley. And then Manderley is like a character of its own in this book, but it's one of the like gothic classics. And I just felt like how incredibly she is able to write a setting that I feel everything that I feel the character is feeling being in that house.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say anything about the plot, just read it for yourself. But the way that she's able to evoke this dark emotion in you, I think is incredible. The way that she wrote our main character, our narrator, I found
Yeah.
it to be amazing. The shift that you see in her, she doesn't just tell you
Yeah.
that this house is like this and this character is like this. She just writes it so intricately that you feel it. No one needs to tell you X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z. You just feel
Exactly.
everything that they're feeling. So I
Yeah.
think it was so beautifully
Mm.
written, and it's like an amazing, it's truly
Yeah.
like the gothic
Yeah.
book in my opinion.
Yeah.
And she's
I loved
amazing.
it also. And I think this is actually the perfect read for October.
It's the perfect read for
Right?
October.
Perfect read for October.
It's
You
amazing.
should
This
go
and
into that.
Frankenstein are like the
Yeah.
OGs
Yeah.
for this genre, I think.
Yeah. I love it. I love the gothic vibes, the dark
I'm
vibes. You know, I
appreciating
can
it more and more.
imagine like the mist, the house.
Exactly.
Like I can feel it, you know?
And the
Yeah.
first line I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Last night I dreamt
I
of
dreamt
Manderley
of
again.
Manderley again. Mm. A very nice book. I'm very glad that you recommended that to me because it was, yeah, it was a great book actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The book that I cannot stop
The book that I'm
raving
gonna read
about,
tomorrow.
and yes, that I keep on recommending also to everyone, especially people who are maybe not so much of like frequent readers, because it's a small book, and it's very relatable and it's such a nice story. I don't know how to express my love to it, but I love this book so much, and it's like a very quick read. But White Nights by Dostoevsky, my favorite, is the story of a sad Russian boy. He's like the dreamer, and he met one night this girl who is crying on the streets by the canal, and at that minute
I can envision it.
he fell in love, and then the whole book is about that sad but very intense love story. And I love it because her name is Nastenka. Nastenka. And if you read it, count how many times he's saying the word Nastenka, and count how many times he's saying his own name. And you will have everything you need to know about this book. This is all about love. So, absolutely recommended.
But now that you're describing, you're gonna like Madonna in a fur coat.
Mm,
It's very similar.
yeah.
Dostoevsky. I want to do next Mrs.
Uh-huh.
Austen. Was she
Yes.
married? Mrs. Miss? I don't know. Was she married? Miss
Jane
Austen.
Austen.
Jane Austen. I hope she was married with how much she writes about marriage. Or maybe this is her fantasy.
Jane Austen. This is the
Jane.
romanticism of the time
I think so. This is the Sarah J. Maas of the
of the time.
Victorian era. But
Okay.
Jane Austen. I adore Jane Austen, and I will convert you
Yes.
to adore Jane
Mm,
Austen.
mm.
I have here Emma and I have Pride and Prejudice, but irregardless, I love her world. I love the world that she creates. I'm so immersed in it.
Mhm.
Like, I have so much fun reading Jane Austen.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few books where I'm reading every single word with joy.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of books, even books that I love, that at some point in the middle of it, or at some
You get
point, you're just a bit
lost.
like,
Yeah.
okay, it
Yeah.
falls off and then it picks back up. But this is a book that I felt like I was so
Mm.
reading every single word because I just love the language. It's I mean, you all watch
Yeah.
Bridgerton, right? Like, it's just a much better version of Bridgerton. But I love the characters that
Yeah.
she creates. No character feels useless. She has something to say in
Mm.
each book. But I think again, like, the characters that she create are very distinct, and any all of them are representing something. She's
Yeah.
trying to say something with every single one of them, and she does a very great job at that. And I just love the world. I love the husband finding, big parties, society, whatever. Like, it's just such a
It's
fun
the vibe.
time to read.
Mm.
But it's not like just a shallow book that it's just fun to read and it's about parties and getting married. I think for the time that it was written, like, it had a lot to say, and it
Mm.
still, I think, stands the test of time. Like, it still makes sense and it's still relevant. And these are the beautiful children editions.
Chiltern. Yeah.
I don't know how to say the children editions.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Look at this shine.
Mr. Darcy and Mr. Knightley,
Pretty.
everyone's crushes.
Yeah. Maybe mine one day. Let's
Mr.
see.
Darcy.
Maybe it's time I go back into this. So every time I tried in the past, it's been a long time I didn't try again. But every time I try, I'm like, ugh, like, why are you
Please.
so heavy? Why is it so? Yeah, it was a bit too much. I don't know. Maybe my journey through feminism didn't take me through there. But you keep on telling me she's the OG feminism, and I don't feel like I'm a feminist anymore. So maybe we will get there.
I mean, I don't know feminist in that sense, but
At
think
this
about, I
age,
think at this
yeah,
day and age, like,
yeah,
she writes strong
yeah,
female characters that
which
have
is
a
potentially
voice and have
unique.
something to
Yeah,
say and they're not afraid to say it. And it's
agree.
not the same frilly girl that just wants a husband and just
Yeah,
wants to get married. Like, there is something extra. If somebody wrote
mm.
this story now,
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing. But
yeah,
the whole point of it is that this was written, I don't know how many years ago,
yeah,
but a very
exactly.
long time
Mm.
ago. And for that time, I think that she did a great
Yeah,
thing and she wrote great female characters.
yeah,
But I just love the writing. I love the
yeah.
voice. I love the world. I love the language.
I'm convinced.
I'm
Yeah,
never bored.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Convinced.
Yalla.
Okay, we have another
Hemingway.
very short classic that I love. I am obviously obsessed with the ocean, so I always love that story. And this is The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway. And the story is deeper than only the theme of ocean and sea. It's the story of Santiago. And Santiago is a Cuban fisherman, an elderly man, and he hasn't fished one fish since like 84 days. So obviously it was done at the time where it was like difficult to feed yourself and so on. So it was a problem, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, one day he goes out to the sea and he somehow managed to get this mystical giant marlin. It's a story of resilience. This is how I see it because it's not only the journey of him with this marlin, it's the journey of him in Cuba, hungry, and like he needs to take care of himself and he's an old man. So I really enjoyed, I always enjoyed that story. I think it's a very deep story and such a short read, but it says a lot.
Does the fish talk?
The
Is it that
fish,
kind of story?
no,
No.
no. If I remember well, it doesn't speak, but there is this kind of battle like internally, and he is fighting with that fish, and he's like throwing the line, and he's getting the line, and he's getting carried away so far into the ocean. He's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" Um, A very, very interesting piece of writing. Yeah, beautiful.
I really want to read this one. I
Yeah.
just read The Movable Feast by Hemingway, but I
Mm.
really like the way Hemingway writes. It's very poetic.
Very poetic, yes.
Mm.
Very poetic.
Okay.
So yeah, The Old Man and the Sea.
Ah, the next amazing classic,
Yes.
100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia
Garcia
Marquez.
Marquez.
Now, I will admit, I read this book a long time ago, and it's a book I desperately want to reread because I think that there's so much to take away from this book that I did not take away from that first read
Mm.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel it's a book that I need to revisit
Yeah.
many times. But it follows, I will say this is not the easiest read.
It's a tough
So
read.
it's a tough read.
Yeah.
And I think that if you really want to comprehend everything that this book has to offer, maybe start with the easier classics and
Mm.
then work your way up into this book. But this follows the Buendia family over the course of 100 years. And one of the difficult things about this book is every character has the same name.
Yep. From like son, grandson, grandpa,
I
dad, they
mean,
all have the same name. I'm like,
I
who
don't
is this
know
one?
why Mr.
Yeah.
Marquez wanted to make our life this difficult, but it's probably like a,
It was a cultural thing.
exactly, it's a
Yeah.
cultural thing,
Yeah.
right? So it's not just for the sake of telling us a story, like it's just the reality of how
Yeah.
it was in the small town. Magical realism. I just remember that I was so like invested and immersed in like the
Yeah.
lyrical, magical writing. Um, and again, I think it's a book that you don't read one
Yeah.
time and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Next.
Yeah.
It's a book that I want to revisit
Yeah.
very soon and I want to
It's
like dissect and
deep.
I
Yeah,
want to like
exactly. Yeah. It's a book you have to read slowly.
you have to read
Like you have to
slowly.
read slowly so you can understand and you can like digest at the same time because it's not easy to read. This is definitely not recommended for someone who just started to read. I think this would be too intense and too
Yeah.
complicated. The world is so complicated, the names, everything. But yeah,
I think
I
I read
agree.
it
A
too early.
classic.
Like I
Yeah,
feel like I read
beautiful.
it too
Yeah.
early and I want to reread it and I want to reread it
Yes.
also again at a later
Yeah.
stage, but I just think that the storytelling, the lyrical
Yeah.
writing was incredible.
Mm,
And I want to read more by him. I
yeah.
haven't read any other books
True.
by
Yeah, me
him
neither.
yet.
I only read that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably though, I think we peaked, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Let's see.
Let's see. What else do we have? Kafka, The Trial.
Kafka.
So, continuing on the complex books, we have Kafka. And Kafka is not for the faint hearted. So, the story of the trial is Joseph K. One day is getting arrested in the street for a crime that he didn't know he committed and he doesn't know what is it. He end up in a trial having like to protect himself, has to defend himself, but he doesn't know against what, and he has no clue. And this book is maddening. It's something that
We
drives you
like
crazy.
crazy
I
books.
swear, we like crazy books. We like good books.
Are we
But this
crazy?
book I'm reading, I'm like, what the hell? It's like, what is going on? Like, why are you there? Why are you not questioning? And I mean, it's very smart that at the time this is like a reflection of a satirical
Mhm.
reflection of the society of
The
like the
justice system?
nonsense, yeah, how society is driving you crazy. Like you
Yeah.
get into a system, you cannot even ask question, why am I here, what am I doing here, why do I have to answer those questions, and you just get dragged into that system, and that system is heavy and complicated and infinite and you don't understand it, but you're just in the middle of it and you have to deal with it. So it really drives you insane, and so it's not an easy book, but definitely a classic,
Yeah.
and one of my favorites. Kafka,
Kafka.
The Trial. You haven't read it yet.
I started it, but we were on a vacation
Okay.
together, and then you handed
Yeah.
me tomorrow.
Oh, true.
So I put this one down, and
Sorry.
I I went to tomorrow. But
But
I
you need
don't.
to
But
get
it's not a
back
beach
into it.
book, so I
It's
think
definitely
it's
not a
not a
beach
beach
book.
book. So
Definitely not. I mean, except if you want to question your whole life and why am I on this beach? Is it for my own free
oh my
will?
god,
Am I
no,
there
no, no, no,
for?
no, no. We were too peaceful for Kafka. The next book,
Yeah.
please pronounce
Émile Zola, Thérèse Raquin.
what she said. I picked up this book again, like all these books I picked up in the
Mm.
secondhand bookshop
Yeah.
randomly, and you know what? They've like changed my life, and I love that I they sought me
Second
out.
life. Yes.
Exactly. They found me, I
Yes.
didn't find them. So this was one of those books. I did not hear about this book. I knew nothing about this book. I had no intention of getting this, but I just saw it and I was like, yalla, why not? And I did not expect to read this. The story is grotesque. Is
Mm.
that the word?
Yeah.
Like, this was one of the first books that made me feel icky,
Icky.
physically ill.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
despised every single one of these characters. The story follows, how do you say, Therese?
Thérèse. Mm.
Therese, who is married to her cousin. And her cousin is sick, and she is sick, and the story is sick. And she gets involved in an affair
Mm.
with a friend of the cousin, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it's just so what is the word? Like, I felt
It's disgusting.
disgusting reading, but it's not
Yeah.
disgusting because, oh, she's having an affair and she's
Mm.
cheating and she's such a bad person. Like,
No.
okay, there's that, but I have never felt I've never had a book make me feel
Yeah.
physically disgusted.
Mm.
And that's why I loved it so much, and I was so impressed that, like, you can
Yeah.
invoke such an emotion in me
Mm.
from just like writing words
Yeah.
on a page.
Mm.
And I remember some of the scenes so vividly, and I remember how exactly I felt while reading it. So it's not a joyful book. These characters are disgusting, all of
Yeah.
them. They're horrible. I hate every single one of them.
Mm.
But I'm just so impressed by the way that he was able to write that invoked such a deep emotion in me. I felt a little bit the same feeling coming back to me in A Little Life, but I don't think I'm a big fan of
Mm.
A Little Life.
Yeah.
But it's the same sense of like I had to hold the book
Yeah.
here. That's how much it was like
Yeah.
disgusting me.
Mm.
Um, the setting, like I just, oh, I
Yeah.
remember when I was reading it, I could feel that disgusting
Yeah.
house that they lived in
Yeah.
with this sick cousin and this affair and this
Ugh.
horrible woman,
Yeah.
and the mother of the cousin was horrendous. Like,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I
Mm.
think there's a theme of like I really love when authors are able to describe a setting where
Yeah.
I'm just like I feel I'm there and it's like making me
Yes.
feel ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. I
Ugh.
felt scared in Manderley and I feel
Yes.
disgusted in these people's home. But I'm so excited to read more from him.
Mm.
I think he's a
Yeah.
bit what
Yeah.
is it? My cup of tea.
Yes. Yeah. I love Emile Zola. I haven't read that one, but yeah, it's
I have no idea
very,
like this
very
book is a
famous.
popular,
Yeah.
not popular. I have no clue about the
This book is
history
not
of this book.
his most
Yeah.
popular, but yeah,
So I'm
it's
excited. If this is not
famous.
even like the best, then I'm very
Yep.
excited for what's to come.
Yes. I have no clue because, and I don't even know if I could read it in English. I mean, French, I would tend to go in
French.
French, but yeah. Let's see. I'll give it.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know
Disgusting.
now if I'm ready for this. Maybe not, but let's see. You never know. Too many books to read.
I mean, I think I didn't sell it. I think
Yes.
I deterred you more from reading
I
it,
feel like I'm not so convinced
but
now.
it's a great written book. I mean, books are not just supposed to make you feel happy and
No, you're
joyful,
supposed to feel
no? You're
everything.
most and
I
disgusted
agree.
as well.
Definitely. Agree. My favorite book
The book that gives me the
ever.
most anxiety. I don't
The
know
book
why.
that give anxiety, but the books that I love the most, the book that changed my life. If you know me, I'm sure I told you that 100 times, and I keep on saying it 100 times. This book changed my life, and this is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And the story, in very short, is the story of a poor. He was a poor student in St. Petersburg, and his name is Rask. Don't ask me to pronounce those names. Raskolnikov. And Raskolnikov is convinced that great people can do bad things and still be great. And this is how the book starts. Um, I will not say
Yeah.
more because I'm not sure if I want to already develop the plot, but this is the fight between good and evil. This is the depth of the human soul. This is like questioning everything, every action, every choices, everything that can happen in your
Mm.
life. So it's a very, very deep book, and obviously it implies that there is a crime. It's in the title, and the book is all around that crime and the journey of that person and how. Anyways, I cannot go through explaining this book in like just a few sentences. This will require own video on its own because it's so deep and there's so much to say. So I'll just keep it short for today. Maybe one day we can go into more details, and maybe once you read it, we can go into more details. But this book changed my life, I think, and changed the way I perceive, yeah, humanity. What is it to be a human being, basically? So yeah, Crime and Punishment.
Yep. I feel
This
with
is your
this
time.
book that I really need to read it. Like
You need to focus,
you
and you
need
need
to
to like,
like I need to sit, I need to
yes,
dissect, I need to
yes.
understand.
You need to
It's
have
not
no
a
distraction, no
Eh,
zero distraction. You need to be at peace. You need to have only one job to do: read that
I'm
book.
afraid that I'm just gonna read it at the wrong time and I'm not gonna get everything. Like, it's a
Yeah,
book that I feel I need to do justice.
yes,
So that's why I keep
but don't
pushing.
overanalyze it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you'll be fine. You will enjoy it regardless.
I'm
Believe me.
sure that I will.
Yes,
Like, I
you
have
will.
no doubt that
You will
it's
love
like
it.
exactly what
I
I would
can't
love.
wait. Yes,
It's
for
very
your
soon.
feedback.
Very soon. Final book, and I think a book
Yes.
that we share
Mm.
the love.
Oh, yes. We
Wuthering
do.
Heights. Wuthering Heights, Wuthering
Yes.
Heights. This amazing super old edition that we got together in
I think
Bratislava.
Bratislava,
We
in
can't
this random
remember.
old shop.
What is
Yes.
that? What is that?
A memory. Ah, you
Bratislava!
see? I told you it was Bratislava
I
book.
love old, old,
Yes.
old
Yeah.
editions of books.
It's so difficult to read, though. Let's.
I mean, I didn't read this edition.
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
something else, but this is just
Yeah.
to keep on my shelf. And this book is recently everywhere because of the trailer for the new movie
Oh, yes.
that's coming out in Valentine's Day, which has been very controversial.
Yeah. And that
Anyway,
made us want to read it again. So it's
yeah,
a good
but
time.
I want to read it again just to remember, is that what the book was? Because that's
Yeah.
not what I remember from
Yeah.
the
I feel
book.
it's a bit, yeah. It looks different,
It's
but
a bit
let's
too
see.
erotic.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? I was a bit surprised. Like, I don't remember that kind of scenes, but I mean, let's see.
Let's see.
We don't know as long as we didn't see. So
Exactly. So,
let us see.
Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is the name of an estate. And basically, this is a story of Heathcliff and Catherine. They grow up together and then they kind of separate when she marries another man. And then we kind of see them come back together.
Mm.
And it's again gothic. It's
Yes.
again like this passionate story. There is
Destructive.
destruction. Exactly. I think there's a theme
Are we
here.
sick?
I just, as I'm
Are we
explaining,
sick?
I never thought I'm a dark person.
I always knew I was.
I didn't know I was.
But I know this is how we found each other. You didn't know, but I knew.
I mean, okay.
Okay.
I just remember that I really love this book because again, it made me feel the
Yeah.
setting, the characters, the feel. Again, they're not likable characters. These
No.
are not good
No.
people. None of these
No.
books, they are good
They are not
people.
good people, but yeah,
But
this
that
is why it
makes you
makes you
feel
question what is the
exactly,
definition of good person?
exactly like.
Good, bad, evil. What makes you evil?
Oh
What
my
makes you
god, I
bad?
just felt the pattern. Like
Yes.
as we just went, I didn't know myself. I'm
There's a
discovering
common,
something about
yeah,
myself.
yeah, there's a strong common theme. Okay.
I think it's a story we're gonna reread. I
Yeah.
think the both of us before the movie
Yes.
comes out. So maybe we'll do a little Wuthering Heights deep dive.
Mm,
Again
as we go through it.
as we go through it. It
Mm-hmm.
was read a long time ago. I just remember that it
Yeah.
made me feel a lot,
Yeah.
and I really liked the story and the setting.
Yeah.
I think I really like setting.
Yeah. Yeah. We love setting. We love deep, complex relation.
Complex
I like the
relationships.
characters that are like very strong,
Unlikable
deep,
characters that
unlikable,
do
weird bonds.
get to know
Our
us.
classic get to know us. Woohoo! Happy people.
Madness and destruction. Two most used words in this video. Madness and
Oh,
destruction.
that's a bit scary.
So,
Okay, that's all for the
but I
classic.
promise we also like happy
Yeah.
books.
And this is why we're gonna go now into kids' book. I think it's a good transition, a very good time to go
Cleanse
into
our souls.
something like very light and a bit childish, And this is a perfect transition before our last category.
I think
Kids'
what
book.
I really love about kids' books is this sense of questioning adulthood and like
Yes.
sometimes the ridiculousness of the rules
Yes.
that we have unconsciously set as adults and as
Yeah.
people growing up, and like we kill some of the imagination and the joys
Yeah.
as we age.
Society killed
society kills our joy. And these are
Yeah.
great books that remind us of that like
Yeah.
magical
Yeah.
feeling, and I just
What is like to be a child?
what
Yeah.
it's like to be a child.
Yeah.
And we understand it now more
Yeah.
than we understand it when it's a child. And I just feel like it just, I want to hold on to that childlike, spontaneous, curious
Yes.
feeling that we've lost somehow in this like
Yeah.
9 to 5 robotic,
9 to 9.
like this robotic
Yeah.
daily life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we've lost the magic of being a
Yeah.
child. And these books are not just for children, like, they have a
No,
lot
you
of.
take away a lot of things still reading them in adult life. This
Exactly.
is my journey
I think you
with
deserve.
The Little Prince by
Mhm.
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And if you know me, The Little Prince is my favorite book in the world. I have it in all the languages. I collect it in all the
Check out
language.
on Instagram.
Yes,
You can see her Little
my
Prince
collection.
collection.
I have it tattooed on my body. So Little Prince is one of the first book I ever read, I think, in my life. I was a kid and my grandma gave it to me when I was like 6. I was learning how to read. And I still remember at the time how deep I felt into that story because I felt like I was the little prince. And so basically, it's the story in short of a pilot, and he has a problem. He lands into the desert and He crashes, and he met the little prince, and the little prince is taking him through his world, and you get to see the world through this little prince's eyes, and it's both sad and hopeful. And when I was going through it when I was a kid, I was the little prince, and then growing up, I became the pilot. And I don't know when is that transition happened, but it happened very quickly without me noticing it. And
Oh no.
but I try to read it often because obviously it's a very quick read, and I take away different things from every time I read it. And I just love it. I love the universe, I love the message, I love the quotes, I love the characters. I love the signification that it has to me. It's my favorite book, and this also to me deserve its own video because I can talk about this book in lengthy details, but not for today. And yeah, I think you read it.
I read it, but
Yes,
later in life,
later,
not
right? Yeah.
too. I mean, a few years
So
ago, but it just. I mean, I
yeah.
think you said everything that I wanted to say.
Yes.
But it's again one of those books that you should
You
revisit
take away.
at
Yes.
different stages of your life. And
Yes.
I, with this and with the other books, like again, it shows you. I really like when it's a very simple, mm, like someone who takes a very simple explanation of
Yeah.
things that we as adults really overcomplicate, or like they
Overcomplicate. Yeah.
explain something in a very innocent way, and
Yeah.
then it makes you realize like that actually does sound
Yeah.
ridiculous when someone puts it in that way.
That's
It's
true.
so normal in our day to day, is
Yeah.
like just mindless work and and how we go about our life and
Yeah.
about our days, and then you
Yeah.
read these kinds of books.
And you just remember, like, you need to pause sometimes and just try to see the world differently. Mm.
And these rules that we have set for ourselves, like it doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
It doesn't exist. So I close this book on this beautiful quote. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Yeah, amazing.
My favorite.
Amazing. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I love Alice's Adventure Underground.
Oh,
Lewis Carroll.
yes.
I really love Alice in Wonderland. I
Yes.
love the movie. I love the book. I think this is like the epitome of ridiculousness.
Mhm.
Like the magical creatures, the nonsense, all these characters
Yeah.
that you are introduced to. So, this is the story of Alice, a little girl. She follows a rabbit down a rabbit hole, and then she is in this wonderland, this mystery place that is filled with like all these strange characters. There's
Yeah.
no logic, there's no rhyme, there's no reason. It's just so magical, it's so colorful, it's joyous, and it gives me that feeling of childlike curiosity and imagination that
Yeah.
again we lose, that I want to hold on to by reading to these books, and just gives you a little thing to think about, like, oh,
True.
do I need to be this way, or do I need to
Mm.
think that way, or do I actually need to do that, or is it just that I'm used to
Yes.
doing that, right?
Or you're just like being pushed to do that.
And then the next one, I think everybody knows the story of Winnie the Pooh. I mean, Winnie the Pooh. He's a bear,
A
a
bear.
honey loving bear who is just so, oh, he's so
Innocent and
innocent
pure and
and
naive
stupid.
and stupid. Naive or stupid? You
Naive or
choose.
stupid. And he has his group of friends, and he has Christopher, his human friend. And that's about it. And they all live together. And it's that feeling that it gives
Yeah.
you, that little sparkle, like when you
Yes.
read it and you
A
just
little
can't help
magic.
smiling, a
Yeah.
little magic. Like when I was
It's
reading
very
this
cute.
book, I think I was smiling the entire time because we all know these
Yeah.
characters. And we've all heard about them, and maybe we watched the cartoons, but how many of us have actually read the stories and read the books? Like, they're so much better
True.
than just knowing the
Yeah.
story or just watching the
True.
movies. Like it.
So if you're a parent, please read it to your kid. Don't show
Yes,
it to your kid.
yes,
They would love
yes.
it.
Please do.
Okay, my last two in that jar
Mm.
are, so number one is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Jules Verne is a French author, and he wrote like a lot of books that I love, 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 love. When I was growing up, I spent a lot of time reading his book. It has like, I don't know what's the name in English, like Journey to the Center of the Art.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I think this was maybe my first obsession with the underworld, under, you know, what's going on in that sea. So I was like very young when I started to read all of the Jules Verne in French. My grandma has the whole collection at home. So, it's
That's sweet.
like such nice stories, and it has a bit of sci-fi because it's like something that doesn't really exist in all of these books. So for instance, a journey to the center of the art is like literally someone who is like drilling through the heart. He wants to know, he needs to find out like what's at the center of the art. So he's going through it, and then he's discovering different things happening at different layers, new worlds, new people, and it's like dinosaurs, and it's a entirely new world that is building. And it's the same with this book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's the story of a professor, and is looking for to find out something. I don't remember now, but he met this captain, Captain Nemo, and Captain Nemo is a very special person who has like a very special kind of submarine. Doesn't exist. And then they start going around the whole globe under the sea, and they're going to places where no one has ever been, meeting creatures that no one has ever even met. And this is like, I think this was the first time I realized maybe I was in love with traveling and adventures. Because all of his books are like really taking you on a journey and taking you on a trip. So it really felt like this. So if you, yeah, I think very good for kids. Maybe, I mean, you need to be a bit older, I think above 10, I guess. But for the imagination, it's great. Like it makes you really think about like incredible things that don't exist on this planet, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very similar. Like I think they
Yeah.
all have the common denominator of it's just sparks your imagination and your
Yeah.
creativity. And if you notice, like these are children's books, right? And they're just, again, of
And
course,
still,
they're but it's so joyous and it's so
yeah.
colorful and it's like imagination and creativity. And then the more you go, and it's like Dostoevsky and crime and evil and the disgusting characters. Like somewhere along the journey, we seem to lose our spark, and it's a little bit sad. Like me, I'm just, you were speaking, telling
Yeah.
this magical adventure story, and then I'm
Yes.
looking at the rest of the books, and I'm like, okay, I mean, it's real life and it's real
Yeah.
experiences, but why can we not maintain
Because the
that
more we grow
adventure?
up, the more,
I don't
you
like that.
know, we're getting away from that
Can we
vibe.
just keep some of this joy?
Just go back and read it.
But I want to live
I remember
it.
I read it again like 2 years back, and I was like, oh wow, it felt so different.
Of course.
It felt so
Of
different, but I
course.
still loved it, but in a different way. And
And
I
I
don't know,
like that when you're a
I
kid, you're
never,
naive maybe to some of the references
yeah,
and some of the things that it's trying to say. And I think it's good to stay that way. And then when you're older,
mm,
you pick up on some of the darker, sadder parts of these
yeah,
books that it kind of goes over your head when you're small. But I think it's something that don't dismiss it just because you're an adult and these are like marketed to kids. They're
Yeah,
still incredible and profound, and there's still a lot to take away from it. And we need some joy in between all these heavy, sad, miserable books.
for sure. I got distracted so because I dogged here a lot of places and
Probably
pages, and I
quotes
was
and
wondering.
yeah. I haven't read anything by him yet, but I
Ah,
definitely will.
I
There's not
love.
enough
Yeah, no
time. I don't know what to
time, no
do.
time. And into the next one, and we will go very quickly into it because last video, I think
Needs
Shirin, you already
yeah, but it needs
talked
no
about it.
introduction.
No introduction. We all love it. We all, maybe not all, but we mostly grew up with
You all should
Harry
love it.
Potter. And I will not go into it, but yeah, for me, this is like really my entire childhood and teenagehood. And yes, growing up with Harry Potter and that magical world. And I love it. I love it. And
I'm excited to be part of
yes,
the full club. Now I'm part of this club.
yes,
But I'm so
you're
excited that
getting
I have
into it.
all of this to get
Yes,
through. I loved it.
I'm so excited for
I
you.
loved
You
it.
know, it is sometimes there's always this moment where you think, where you loved so much a book that you wish you could read it for the first time again,
Mm,
and you wish to go through all of this another time,
mm,
but you can't.
I know.
This is over.
I know. But
But
I hope there will
this is the
be
kind of book
others
that
that
we can, yeah. Harry Potter,
precious.
last one.
Last one.
We can talk about each categories on their own videos. So this was a first glimpse, a summary of our favorites. There are a lot more, but today we wanted you to get to know
Yeah.
more about our tastes
Yeah.
and who we are and what do we read, and that we are not the only ones being so mad.
So, so if you liked any of this book, and if you think that you have similar taste to us, please recommend us books that you think we would absolutely love, because I'm always looking for recommendations and I
Yes.
want books that are going to make me feel like what all these books made me feel. So if you have any recommendations, please let us know and maybe we'll read it
Yes.
in a new video.
Yes.
All right.
Great. Thank you for
Thank
watching
you.
our second video, and
We'll see you in the
we'll
next
see
one.
you next one.
Bye.
Bye.